Yeah. Okay. Welcome to my channel yet again. It's Phumzile, the girl next door. Thank you for joining me and thank you for subscribing. For people who have subscribed on my YouTube channel, and also those who liked the videos, who watched the videos, viewed them, and gave feedback. So yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited to do this one. So what I did on the show that I host on the online radio station, I did reflecting on 2020 as a topic. So I thought, let me come today and do this video. So it's a new year, it's 2021. So let's reflect. So I reflected on the last day of the year. So now it's the first day of the year. So reflecting again. So I put up some few notes on things that I wanted to reflect on. They're more personal. I know people are looking at 2020 on like the focus is COVID and focusing on what's real or not real about COVID and what has been happening, people dying, So COVID was something else, 2020 was something else. So it's January again. I think 2020, when the year started, we didn't even think the year will be the way 2020 was. So I thought, okay, you know what? Let me just put together everything, or just, things that I think like one can reflect on. What has 2020 taught us or taught me or other people? I spoke to different people, friends, family, and all that. Every time we meet, or when we call each other and all that, we will talk about, this year, 2020 must just end. But it's ended. What are we taking from 2020? What are the things that we started doing differently? How are we moving to this year and beyond? Because I don't think it ends with what 2020 was. So let me just go right into it. So welcome back. Oh guys, please, if you have not subscribed, you just seeing this video, please hit that button and the bell so that you can be notified when there's more videos. There is so much in store. Diaries filling up. We've been making notes on who we're gonna bring here, but today it's not about that. It's about reflecting on 2020. So I'll go through the pointers that I made on the show. There are a lot, about 50 or so, but I'm not going to cover them all. I'll just cover the few that I think made sense to me and they were more personal to me, So, yes, as I said. So, number one. So, when we're reflecting, number one is difficult times show us the real face of life and the real face of people. With that, what do I mean? With that is, last year there's a lot of people who've gone through difficult times, like bereavement. Others, they lost their jobs. Those who are in business, shops closed. Business we were not making money and all that. So that situation started showing people what is real life. Not that the normal life when things are going well is not real life, but circumstances that are harder, they always bring us to, okay, where am I? Who do I have around me? What are the faces, the people that I have in my life? So that is reflection number one. Difficult times, they show us real life and real faces of people. So you can just think about it. Think about the people who are part of your life, in any form, in any difficulties, or the downtime, or when you were even struggling with being home when you are on lockdown. Who was there? How were they? What relationships did you have? Did they continue? Did they fail? That's number one. Number two, self-care is a priority, not a privilege. Like 2020 gave us time to look into self, to focus on ourselves as individuals, as human beings. Because now, when it started with level 5, yes, some of us thought, I actually thought it was funny, and I never thought like we will be told to stay home, work from home, and not come to the office. So that was, and like unknown. But okay, can one work? It's wishful thinking. One of those, I've seen in the videos or US where somebody would say, I'm working from home and I'm making money. But I never thought that was real, But actually, 2020 taught us that actually you don't have to leave your home environment to go to work. Circumstances, life environment can just, give you a time whereby you can work wherever you are. Hey? So what happened around that? Self-care. You wake up, you at home, you have to work at home. What happens with your body? The changes, eating habits and all that. Then as we are going down from level 5, level 4, now you start, feeling tired all of a sudden, or being, cabin fever and all that. Most people started taking, exercising at home. So I saw a whole lot of videos where people started taking care of themselves differently. Even those who didn't sign up for like gyms before, like moi. Anyway, we did some fun things around the yard and all that. You wake up and think, what can I do today for myself? So then I said, actually, self-care is definitely not a privilege, because before we didn't have that. You wake up, you go to work, you just get so focused into your life at home, work, and self-care it becomes secondary. But hey, 2020 taught us it is a privilege. So number 3, freedom is not free and it should never be taken for granted. That's a mouthful. Freedom, guys. When you are free, you can do anything that you want to do anytime, any day. And then guess what? Lockdown happened. Our freedom somehow was taken away, where now we are told what time we should be back at home. No partying until midnight or the 6 to 6. Now you are told by somebody else, like, okay, cupcake, you're not somebody else. But you are told by the president, like, guys, you can't do this time. You can't buy alcohol this time. These are the restrictions that you're going to live by. So our everyday freedom was taken away. So look at that. Freedom is not free. It should never be taken for granted. And that's one of the things that if you have never been prisoned or be in a space whereby you are locked up and you can't do things that you want, you don't know freedom. You just think freedom. I'm not going to go back to prior, apartheid era. Not that freedom. I'm talking about personal freedom that has everything to do with you as a person. So let's not take our freedom for granted and be responsible with it. So reflecting on that, I think that's the key one. Let's not take our freedom for granted. So number 4, things are not always what they seem. The first appearance can be deceiving. 2020, when the year started, we just thought, hey, it's gonna be a new year. We're sending each other all the same messages that we're sending, wishing each other all the beautiful blessing and things. And hey, what did 2020 do? Showed us that things, they not always as they seem. We're thinking everything will be beautiful and blessed. What? It changed. We were scared. We were anxious, things just turn around like we didn't see it coming. So sometimes in life you do things and you think this is how things are, or this is how things they seem. Sometimes that's not the case. So just look closer. COVID is big. 2020 was a different year, but come back closer to your life. Things, they are not always as they seem. So you need to be, you need to check on how things they are in the truth or real matter, like how things are. So that's number 4. Number 5, life spares no one. It is a difficult one. We've seen that. I think in the history of my 40 and above life, my goodness, I have not heard of so much deaths, so many people in the whole world where you hear every day somebody died. And it was not only COVID alone. It was COVID. It was men killing women. It was, the whole gender, violence, the femicide, all of those things, people killing each other, kids getting raped. Like, it was 2020, there was so much of lives that were taken away and just deaths. So, guys, life spares no one. Take care of your life and be grateful for what you have and be grateful for just being alive. It's important. Sometimes we complain so much and then we get so negative, and forget that life is not guaranteed. You have it today, actually tomorrow. That one life, it's one. That life, irrespective of how many years you have lived, how lucky you were to grow up to be at any age. But when that one life is taken away, it's gone. There's no second chances. There's no repeat. It's gone. So please be grateful for life. I think before I get too deep, because it scares me the way things were. It really scares me because I really felt like nobody is immune to this. Anything can happen, and tomorrow you can get sick. Today, tomorrow you just die like that. And yeah, difficult one. Life spares no one, so remember that. Number 6, time is a limited resource. Don't waste it for people and things, and don't add. No, let me read that. Time is a limited resource. Don't waste it, one, for people and things that don't add value in your life. That's important. 2020 taught us to value people and things that are immediate to us and that add value to us. So we had the time to work from home. We had the time that it's limited to everybody else, where you can't do everything that you wanted to do. So you needed to just see, do you spend time with your family? Do you do things that are important with the family? Do you spend money or your resources that you have wisely? Because you don't know tomorrow. We were all so fearful because level 5 was hectic. At least when the curve was flattened, we were able to see that, actually you can go buy food, but hey, a lot of things were, sure, resources, you would know that you would have this, others started becoming scarce, like hospitals. Those are the resources that you're thinking, oh my goodness, So the time that you had or you have, how did you use it? How did you value it? And that is the resource. Don't look at time as just, go but it's a resource. What are you going to do? It's 2021. How are you going to use your time? On things that make a difference in your life? On people that value, that adds value in your life? Yes, no? Think about that. So then number 7, be very intentional with everything that you do. That's key. Sometimes you get to a point whereby you just live life for what it is. And okay, you're working or you're going to school, but the future, it's basic that I'm going to graduate, I'm going to be somebody else, I'm going to have a profession, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to have family, so those are the basic things where we are born in a life that tells you, go to school, study, be a professional, make money, then family, and that's it. But the intentions of living life, the intention, even if you want to start a family, the intention of starting a family, where is it based on? What type of a family do you like? Do you just have a family because it's life? That's what happens. Do you go to school because you need to go to school? Do you start a business because you're just passionate about starting a business, or because employment opportunities are not so much? So be intentional with everything that you do, everything that you do, because your future depends on it. You can start now, and start a family, but in the future you can lose that family because the intention, you didn't make sure that what is the intention of having the family is to grow it, is to live a certain type of life, is to have memories or activities in that family that are what you want, or just because you need to be in a female setup. I'm talking about those deep intentions, things that we don't think, like really dig deep and think about, that you want to have a family. Why? Just because everybody says you need to have one? You want to get married just because it's way of life? So intention, because whatever you study for, it might change. Is it linked to your purpose? Is it linked to who actually you want to be at the end? So it begins with your intention. Now you are here, you are alive, you are born. No, you were born. So what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? Some motivational speaker will talk about purpose, they will talk about goals, setting up all those things. Yes. But intention is different to those things. What's your intention for 2021? What are your intentions? What are the things that you're gonna intentionally do and plan and go through with them because you know what you wanna do with them? So the next one, have always something to look forward to. Okay, that's easy enough. That's why you live, because there is tomorrow. Tomorrow makes you want to meet tomorrow, because if you don't have anything to look forward to, I'll tell you, then life will be boring. Like, I was looking forward to do this video. After yesterday, I got feedback from people to say, because we did short clips while we're doing radio, so it was not full list where I can, say it all. But now I'm here. That's why. So the intention was, okay, let me get it here to this platform so that I can clearly, there's no music, there's no 15 minutes I must play music. Radio is different to the YouTube. So yes, I look forward to it. It was good, okay, this is what I'm gonna do tomorrow. Here I am today, doing it, intention, and again, looking forward to something. Things like that, they make a difference in your life. Reflect, look into your life like that. And then number 9, we only have the present moment. The past is only a memory, and the future is just a wish. I think that's clear enough. We are not promised tomorrow. So today, if you plan to do something today, even if it feels you feel tired or you don't have an energy to do something, just try. Just try, because all you have is, the gift is the moment and is today. I struggle with that, but I try. So number 10. Number 10, guys. Number 10 is reflecting on that, this has been a journey for me. So number 10 says, accept your pain and it will hurt less. I promise you, the journey of healing starts with the pain point, starts with what's not going right, starts with how you're feeling at the time. But believe you me, if you hold on to what hurt you or what is hurting you at the time, or not acknowledging the pain and just say, I'm in pain, and acknowledging that pain and accepting for what it is. It's painful, it feels like this, it feels like that. When you start accepting, it feels better. Then the next step is facing it, so that you don't become pain, because when it's pain, when you sit with it, when you hold, I don't know how to put it, when you hold on to a pain, you're not even sharing with somebody else to say, I'm feeling like this, it hurts more. That's the pain that I'm talking about, where it will hurt more if you don't accept it. You just feel it and then you just sit with it, you do nothing with it. When you accept it, that's where you start looking for help, or that's where you start talking to other people about how you're feeling. It does get better. I know that. I've been through moments where I felt like, life hurts. Hey, things can hurt you, people can hurt you, or stuff can hurt you so bad that you don't move on. You would feel when you share a story of how you grew up, and then you start tearing down because you moved on. You never accepted that pain. You thought it was a way of life or something. Guys, if something hurt you before, go back to it, confront it, acknowledge it, and share. If somebody else did hurt you, make sure that they know it gets better. It hurts slightly less, and eventually I know it does go away because it opens a moment of healing. That's I did a blog some time ago about healing. That healing is actually a choice. Sometimes we hold on to a pain so much that you don't want to let go. You know, those kind of things. Things like life will never be the same again. You know, this happened to me, and you know, things do happen to you. You know, you fall, you get hurt. You know, but when you look at what hurt you and do something about it, slowly, it gets better. Like I'll put a note on the YouTube at the end, the blog, or the links to the blogs that I think it's Wounds Do Heal, part 1 and part 2. That was a journey of acknowledging a pain and, you know, seeing that wounds do heal. A pain does go away. Quick, I just thought of something now in my mind. Like you have a headache, you take a Panado, pain goes away. So until it's young, accepting that and then thinking, okay, what can I do? Panado or whatever, grandpa or whatever. Then you forget that between after acknowledgement and taking a Panado, and boom, after some time you don't even remember until somebody like or actually polile. Life and things is exactly like that. Accept the pain, move on, it will hurt less. Next, so we are on 21 minutes 22. So happiness is self-created. Do not look for happiness outside yourself. Haha, my favorite again. That's part of my reflections, you know. So when I wrote these things down, I went back on my Facebook page and I looked at my thoughts, you know, on the pictures that I've posted and all that. 2020, my God, I've seen my smile, you know, from my heart. I started seeing how happy I am as a person in general, with or without anything, you know, with my kids at home, not like, you know, the opportunity of going to work, doing other things. I just got to a point of understanding that actually happiness is an inside job. Happiness, it's in you and you can create it. You know, you wake up, you decide to do something that makes you happy. That's you. You know, the same way you decide, like, I don't want to wake up, I don't want to, no matter how much you're feeling, if you know something makes you happy, when you do it, then you're happy. You create your own happiness because it lives within you. Nobody else will know. Oh, okay, people will know. You think, okay, your partner, your kids, if they make you breakfast, they know that will make mommy happy. But how would your kids know? It means it starts with you, where you share what makes you happy. It means you must know what makes you happy. And then you start creating that, and people will then give you exactly that. So happiness is a self thing. It's not outside of yourself. And you can create it. I went to the friend's wedding. Hey, Vale. I'll make sure I send you this link so that you can check this out. So I was miserable when I was going to PMB because not miserable. There was a part where I hopped into a shuttle that I thought it was taking me straight to PMB, only to find that it will drop me in town, Durban, Wempeng. You know, I was rushing, and when this guy called me to say, you know, I was asking for Uber and checking where do they stay, and taxis and shuttles. So when they said, no, there is a shuttle that is going to PMB, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Then I don't have to request Uber or something. And I thought, okay, it's also cheaper because when I checked, oh, okay, it will be easy on my money, you know, spending wisely and all that. But hey, little did I know. But in that trip, you know, at first when we got into town, okay, I was relaxed reading my book and, you know, having like touring, like, and, you know, traveling alone, which all those things that they're not so me. I don't like doing things alone, but I had to be in a moment whereby I'm happy with doing this alone and not going with anybody. But this is where my story is going. When I got to town and I am assisted by this guy with a trolley, I said, check us, young faggot taxi, guys, I was so miserable. But a minute I sat in that taxi, you know, I just something, or it happened, when you know you so much, that I had a choice to mope, I had a choice to be angry, I had a choice to just go swear at that. I wouldn't even find him anywhere, that guy who said the shuttle will take me straight to PMB. But when I was sitting in a taxi, I started reflecting. By the way, this is how I grew up. I used to use taxis. Started talking to the people at taxi. There was a guy who was asking me about all my tattoos, and I realized then that you create all the moments. As much as I was just irritable that I'm going to be late, it's taking me forever, and I still need to know how to connect from PMB to where I was going. So I knew all that. I put them aside, but I created that moment. I created that environment. I took pictures, and actually I said, I'm going to blog about this. Then I started taking pictures of me this time being in a taxi. That's normal. But because now I'm used to Uber, car, that comfort. And then when you're thrown off, you think you're miserable. And actually, that feeling, it's in you. You can recreate. But yeah, I'm taking too long with this one. But for me, I've seen how I was able to go back to self and enjoy me and being happy with everything I have around me and what I don't have. If my kids decide to go with their father somewhere, or I would be home alone, I would not feel the way I used to feel in years. So that kind of thing. One day I'll talk about those things. But I could financially as well, the money was not the same. You're thinking, I'm home, I'm going to spend less, or I'll still have more money. But somehow you'll see oh guys, shorter. But I'm still happy, just to be. So I know, guys, happiness is self-created, and it's something that is inside, is not outside of yourself. Number 12. I like that topic more. Number 12, we feel, in terms of how we are thinking, we act based on those thoughts, So, how you, when you think negatively, simple. I think I wrote my English there. We feel in terms of how we are thinking, we act based on our thoughts. Okay, simplifying that, you are how you think. If you think negatively, you become a negative person. If you think positively, you become a positive person. Like I said, if you think happy, you become that happy person. Simple as that. You are just what you think. Like they would say about and what your body, you are what you eat. It's exactly that. Look into your thoughts and see. They will tell you a lot about yourself. So number 13. Number 13, decide not to decide is still making a decision. Guys, 2020 was that, So if you're not deciding on anything, even if life, threw us everywhere else, do you go test? Do you find out more information? Do you do something about your job if you're not employed, or if you're employed, or work environment has changed and you don't know what to do? Whatever decision that you've made with 2020 and how you want to think or how you want to feel, you are making a decision about your life to have 2020 be the year that when you talk about it, if it was bad for you, you decided it would be. If you did something positive, I started looking at other things, what would I do, just to recreate my 2020 so that it doesn't become a doomed year. I searched, I got the radio opportunity, I continued to do on my YouTube, started talking to my friends, started looking at people who still motivate me. You know what? So if I didn't make a decision, I would have made a decision not to do anything about my life. So remember, decide. That other point about intention, be intentional and make decisions about your life. So if again you decide not to do anything, that's the decision to do nothing. So there won't be any outcome. Think about that. So the next, protect your energy. Oh guys, I learned that 2020 also, that was an opportunity for me to see there was a lot happening around me, around my family, at work, I got to understand that your personal energy is so important and you need to protect it. There's things that will happen outside of you and people in your life that will make you feel in a certain way and changes your whole aura, your energy. when you don't protect yourself and making decisions about what affects your energy positively or negatively, and cut the things that are not working. Protect your energy and make sure whatever that you feed your space. People who come visit you, or people you go visit, people you spend time with. When people are making time with you, what energy are they making? Time based on time, or that's your energy, that's your being, that's your whole being out there. Protect it with everything that you have. 2020 taught me that. At first it was like, oh, I don't have a car, oh, I don't have this. When 2020 hit, also it just hit me hard. Both my cars stopped working. Yes, I was not going to the office, so I felt like I'm stuck here at home. But I got to preserve the energy. I have to reflect that, what, the past years I'll be everywhere with friends and family, always do things for the other and all that, not for myself. Others, I thought I was doing it for me, but the whole feeling of wanting to be everywhere, for everything. But I got to understand when I was feeling better, being home, loving just not being everywhere. Then I got to understand, oh my God, this is my energy that is preserved. This is my it felt so good. And then I got to understand and learned 2020 reflections. I learned to preserve my energy and protect it at the same time. So last but not least, you know what? Okay, cool. The other part I saw is with 2020 in my life, or just reflecting, seeing what I've been seeing. Sometimes people don't want to be saved. Sometimes we want to save the world. We want to be there for everybody and all that. I learned last year, 2020, whereby, you'd have people who would complain about the same thing over and over, and they're not looking for being saved. Actually, they enjoy being in that space. But hey, you must also understand that sometimes we can help people, we can be there for others, but not everybody who comes needing saving or needing help needs the help. And it's okay. Let people, the journey, because 2020 was hard on everybody. So trying to tell people to be positive was very hard. And it will feel like, for me, it will feel like, because I'm still employed, because I could still find things to do, or there was something around my life. When you tell somebody, or when you speak to somebody who has lost some things, one would be they don't know how to get out of situations, or actually people, just don't want to be saved. They okay being where they are, and it's okay. I think this is something else that I would like to talk about in the future. So just closing off, I said I'm gonna do, they were like 50, but I'm doing few. Let me do the last one. I think I'll have part 2 of this, so that I can continue with other ones that I will not touch on. So I'll take this one. You don't need to be productive. Reflection. You don't need to be productive all the time. Taking some time for yourself is not selfish or lazy. I found that with 2020 taught us, like, I learned that myself. There were days whereby getting up was just hard. I wouldn't feel like doing anything, because working from home was not normal. It was just a new normal where you're gonna get up, empathy, shower, and then you are at work immediately in your house. So there were days whereby being logged in, or being like Monday to Friday, waking up, you are at work, lunch, you are at work, you are in your house doing everything that you do. You with your family, you are working, you having fun in one space. It would get tiring. So sometimes there were days where I was not productive, and actually I got to understand, actually it's okay. Those days are not bad. Take time, rest, sleep. It's okay. I hope with 2020 we can take that forward, So reflect on your things, your personal things. I think with this topic, the radio topic that I was doing yesterday, it was more personal. I didn't want to go into COVID-19, the disease, the virus, the, how, US, the UK and everything, and how China, not that. Not reflecting on all of that, but what it has done for you personally. What have you learned personally, those small things that sometimes you don't touch on them. So these were my points. So I wrote them down, but I'm gonna continue with these maybe on part 2, or I'm gonna blog about them so that at least I keep the momentum, or a momentum of reflections for 2020. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe. Please hit the bell so that you can be notified. Hey, happy 2021. Enjoy. Let it be what it's supposed to be. Let it be what your year is supposed to be. Make it what you want it to be. Don't wait for it. Don't wait for the year to tell you. If it becomes something else, remember yourself and be in it. And do anything that you wanted to do. If you can't do this, do something else. Try something else. It will be your year, one way or the other. Something like that, it will still be your year because you will be living in the same year. So don't wait for anything. Just be, because it seems like we're still gonna go through, carry 2020 to 2021. We went back to level 3. We don't know what's gonna happen. So find you, go through your own reflections, because 2020 was that introductory year of being minimal, doing things in the small scale, scaling down family events and all that, scaling down and almost everything that is personal to you. So what are you going to do this year? Intentions. So thank you so much for watching. See you on the next video. So yeah, thank you. Comments, guys, give me the feedback. Thank you.